Right now, as you're watching this video, your body might be slowly breaking down. And the scariest part? You probably have no idea it's happening. I'm not talking about the obvious stress, panic attacks, or sleepless nights. I'm talking about that low-level stress humming in the background of your life. The kind you've gotten so used to that you don't even notice it anymore. That stress is quietly destroying your body. And by the time you realize something's wrong, real damage has already been done. Today, we're breaking down exactly how chronic stress sabotages your health without warning. Let's get into it. Let's start with your brain because what's happening here is genuinely disturbing. When you're chronically stressed, your body continuously pumps out cortisol, your main stress hormone. In short bursts, cortisol is helpful. It sharpens focus and mobilizes energy. But when cortisol stays elevated for months or years, it becomes toxic to your brain. Here's what research shows. Chronic cortisol exposure actually kills neurons in your hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and emotional regulation. Brain imaging studies reveal that chronically stressed people have measurably smaller hippocampi. We're talking actual brain shrinkage. But it gets worse. Chronic stress doesn't just kill existing brain cells, it prevents new ones from being born. Your brain has this incredible ability called neurogenesis, creating new neurons. Chronic stress shuts that down completely. You're losing cells and not replacing them. Meanwhile, a different part of your brain is growing, your amygdala, your fear center. Studies show chronic stress makes the amygdala hyperactive and enlarged, so you're simultaneously losing memory capacity and emotional control while amplifying your fear response. Your brain is being rewired to be more anxious and less capable of managing that anxiety. Your prefrontal cortex, the executive control center for decision-making and rational thinking, also gets impaired. This is why when you're chronically stressed, you make worse decisions, you're more impulsive, you can't think clearly. It's not a character flaw, your brain function is being compromised. And the terrifying part? You don't feel any of this happening. You might notice you're forgetful or anxious, but you probably just think you're tired. You have no idea your brain structure is actually changing. Now let's talk about inflammation because this is where invisible damage really accumulates. Chronic stress does something paradoxical to your immune system. It suppresses your ability to fight infections, which is why stressed people get more colds. But at the same time, it massively increases inflammation throughout your body. Your body starts overproducing inflammatory cytokines, signaling molecules that create inflammation. This chronic inflammation is like having a fire continuously burning inside you, damaging everything it touches. Chronic inflammation accelerates heart disease. It promotes insulin resistance and diabetes. It's linked to cancer. It contributes to autoimmune diseases. It even affects your brain, contributing to depression and cognitive decline. And here's what makes this so dangerous. You cannot feel inflammation. There are no pain receptors for it. That inflammatory fire can burn for years, damaging your blood vessels, promoting arterial plaque, increasing disease risk, and you feel absolutely nothing. Research shows chronically stressed people have elevated inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein. These markers predict future disease. Your blood right now might be showing signs of diseases you'll develop in 5 or 10 years, but without testing, you'd never know. This is why chronic stress is so insidious. The damage is real and progressive, but completely silent until it manifests as actual disease. Let's talk about what chronic stress does to your metabolism. Remember cortisol? It releases glucose into your bloodstream. Great for acute stress, terrible when it's constant. Chronic cortisol elevation means chronically elevated blood sugar, which leads to insulin resistance. Your cells become numb to insulin, so your pancreas produces more and more. This becomes pre-diabetes, then type 2 diabetes. But it gets worse. Chronic stress changes how your body stores fat. Cortisol specifically promotes visceral fat, the dangerous fat around your organs. This fat isn't just cosmetic. It's metabolically active, producing inflammatory chemicals that further damage your metabolism. You get a vicious cycle. Stress increases cortisol, cortisol promotes belly fat increases inflammation, inflammation worsens insulin resistance, which causes more fat storage. And here's something shocking. Chronic stress literally changes what you crave. Studies show stressed people want high-calorie, high-sugar foods. This isn't about willpower. Stress alters your brain chemistry, making junk food more rewarding. Chronic stress also suppresses thyroid function, slowing your metabolism and causing fatigue, weight gain, and brain fog. The scary thing is how gradual this is. You don't wake up with diabetes, it's a slow progression over years while you feel relatively normal. Maybe you've gained weight, maybe you're tired, but nothing dramatic. Meanwhile, your metabolism is being progressively destroyed. Now let's talk about your cardiovascular system because this is where chronic stress becomes life-threatening. Chronic stress hormones directly damage your heart and blood vessels. Constant cortisol and adrenaline raise blood pressure, damaging the delicate cells lining your arteries. This damage is where plaque buildup begins. Remember that inflammation? It accelerates plaque formation. So you've got damaged arterial walls plus inflammation. Perfect conditions for atherosclerosis. Here's what terrifies me. You can have significant plaque, significant narrowing of your coronary arteries and feel nothing. No symptoms, no warning, until suddenly you have a heart attack. Chronic stress also disrupts heart rhythm, increasing risk of arrhythmias and atrial fibrillation, which raises stroke risk. Studies show people with high chronic stress have 2 to 3 times the risk of heart attack, stroke, and cardiovascular death compared to low-stress individuals. Someone can be walking around with high blood pressure, atherosclerotic plaques, and dysregulated stress hormones, feeling fine, with no idea they're at serious risk. That's how chronic stress kills. Silently. Let's talk about your gut because the gut-stress connection is critically important. Your gut and brain communicate constantly through the gut-brain axis. Chronic stress fundamentally changes how your gut works. It alters gut motility, causing diarrhea for some, constipation for others. This is why irritable bowel syndrome is so stress-linked. But deeper damage occurs. Chronic stress increases intestinal permeability. Leaky gut. The barriers between intestinal cells loosen, allowing food particles and bacteria to leak into your bloodstream. Your immune system attacks these, creating more inflammation. Chronic stress also decimates your gut microbiome, the beneficial bacteria in your intestines. Stressed people have less diverse gut bacteria. These bacteria produce neurotransmitters and compounds affecting mood, immunity, and metabolism. When stress disrupts your microbiome, everything suffers. There's even evidence that damaged gut bacteria send anxiety signals to your brain, creating a feedback loop. Stress damages gut bacteria, bacteria trigger more anxiety, anxiety creates more stress. You can't feel most of this. You might have bloating or discomfort, but you have no idea your intestinal barrier is compromised and inflammation is being generated. Chronic stress throws your entire hormone system into chaos. It suppresses reproductive hormones. In women, this disrupts periods and fertility. In men, it lowers testosterone, affecting libido, muscle mass, bone density, and mood. Why? When your body thinks it's under constant threat, it deprioritizes reproduction. But modern stressors like work deadlines don't require this. It just creates health problems. Chronic stress also affects thyroid and growth hormones, crucial for metabolism and energy. When these are suppressed, you feel exhausted and unmotivated, so you become less active, which leads to worse sleep, weight gain, more hormone problems, and increased stress. Another vicious cycle. The frustrating part? Symptoms are vague. Fatigue, weight changes, mood issues. People blame aging or being busy, not realizing actual hormonal dysfunction is occurring. Chronic stress destroys sleep quality. It keeps your nervous system in hyperarousal. Your fight or flight response stays on when it should shut down at night. Even if you sleep 8 hours, stress degrades sleep quality. You get less deep sleep and REM sleep, the restorative stages. So you wake up exhausted despite being in bed all night. Poor sleep increases cortisol, worsens emotional regulation, increases inflammation, and impairs insulin sensitivity. Stress ruins sleep. Poor sleep increases stress, another vicious cycle. And here's something shocking. Chronic stress accelerates aging at the cellular level. Your chromosomes have protective caps called telomeres. Chronic stress shortens them faster. People with high stress have shorter telomeres than same-age people with lower stress. You're literally aging faster at the DNA level. Chronic stress also increases oxidative damage to cells, proteins, and DNA. This cellular aging contributes to heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and dementia. So why don't you notice all this? First, it's gradual, happening over months and years. Second, the damage is internal and invisible. You can't see inflammation or arterial plaque forming. Third, symptoms are vague. fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, easily blamed on being busy or aging. Fourth, we normalize stress in modern culture. And finally, there's no immediate pain to motivate change. The damage accumulates silently until it becomes disease. So what do you do? First, take chronic stress seriously. It's causing real physiological damage. Second, honestly assess your stress level. Are you constantly tense? Is relaxing difficult? Third, prioritize stress management. Exercise regularly, it regulates stress hormones. Practice meditation or mindfulness. Prioritize quality sleep. Maintain social connections. Fourth, address lifestyle factors. Reduce caffeine, limit alcohol, eat whole foods. Fifth, consider therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is evidence-based for stress management. Sixth, get tested. Ask your doctor to check inflammatory markers, fasting glucose, thyroid function. These reveal damage before symptoms appear. Finally, set boundaries. Learn to say no, protect personal time. This isn't selfish, it's medically necessary. Here's the bottom line. Chronic stress is silently destroying your body, shrinking your brain, inflaming your tissues, breaking your metabolism, threatening your heart, aging your cells. But unlike genetics, stress is controllable. Your body is sending signals: fatigue, mood changes, poor sleep. Don't ignore them. Take them seriously before silent damage becomes serious disease. If this helped you, hit like and subscribe. Comment, what's your biggest stress source and what will you change after watching this? Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. Seriously.